What is up, everybody? This is Random Sparks and we are back in Farming Simulator 15 and we are doing a tutorial on how to add the Demco saddle tanks onto a mod. Now we have the New Holland TA320 here, and this mod is actually available on several modding sites, and the Demco saddle tanks are available on American Eagle's modding. However, tractors do not come with the proper attacher to add these onto it. So if we come into here and we drive over, it should not attach. Should not have the attaching option. So we are going to fix that. Alright, looked like it just wiggled a bit. So, yeah, as you can see, nothing is showing up for us to attach to it. So I'm going to back out of this and I'm going to switch over to my desktop. So stay tuned, I will be right back. Alrighty, so we are here on my desktop and I have the two mods ready and available here. This is the Demco and this is the New Holland. So we're going to create some new folders for each of those. So this one will be called Demco, and I want to make one called 320. That's just the way I like to do it. You can name it whatever you want. So I'm going to open up the Demco mod folder here and copy everything over into the folder we just made. And same thing with the New Holland. There we go. So now I'm going to open up what we have in the New Holland. Now here we go. We're going to want to find the New Holland's or your mod's i3D folder. Now sometimes there's only one i3D in there, sometimes there's more. In this case we do have more, and I'm going to delete these cameras we have there as we don't need them. Okay, I just had those on there from when I did a montage video. So I'm going to create a camera so we can work with. Make sure to do that if there's no other cameras available, because if you move around with the camera you start out in, you will mess up the outdoor camera and it will look all wonky once you get it in game. So you're going to want to, like I said, create camera right here and it will go right here, of course. Then to switch the views, you will come over here and select camera. Now you can actually rename that to whatever you want, but I'm just going to leave it as camera. So now we can look around wherever we want. And now I'm going to hit this button to import an i3D folder. And I already just was there, but you will want to go back to your desktop, open the Demco, and then the Demco's i3D folder. Now it will create a light and a camera. We can just go ahead and get rid of those. You probably don't want to keep the light because sometimes that can cause some lighting issues in the game. I actually had that happen once, but I just take them off by default now just to be sure. So as you can see, we don't quite line up with the axle here. I would also like to note that this one does not have the wheel showing. That's because they are dynamically loaded, but we can still add these Demco tanks anyways. But if the wheels are there, that wouldn't be an issue either. It would just make it a little bit easier, but we're doing it the slightly harder way this time. So I do have the Demco selected, and we're going to move it just a little bit so that it lines up with the axle. And that actually looks pretty close. Now I'm going to look at it from this angle and do the same thing. And that is fairly close. It doesn't have to be perfect, because I mean you're usually just going to be like this far away from it, so you won't be able to see that too well anyways. But anyways, now to actually create the attacher spot, you're going to do create transform group. Now you're going to select this, which you just made, and rename it to Demco. So then we are going to take that, cut it, and paste it into here. So make sure you do have this selected and then hit paste or Control V. Now you will probably notice that when you select between the two, those points move. That is because the X and Y axis have been changed. So what you're going to do, you're going to select the Y in here on the actual tanks themselves and move them over to the point we just created. And same with the Z. Now the X should be 0 so that it is center with the tractor. Now these should line up when we switch between the two, and yes it does. So now we can go ahead and delete the Demco and save it. Now I'm just going to select this and minimize it. Do not close that yet. But now I'm going to switch over to yes, the XML file. New Holland T8320 XML. Make sure you look for that. You don't want the mod description or the vehicle dirt shader. You do want the actual mod's XML. So we're going to load that in, and we're going to be looking for attacher joints. Should look something like this. There may be more, there may be less. Depends on the mod. And you should have been given this on the Demco's mod download page on American Eagles Modding, but I will put this in the video description as well. And I also like to add this little bit to make it more organized, and I will also put that in the video description. So I'm going to copy this, go back over to the New Holland, and space down there, and there we go. That should do it for the most part. But now we're going to leave this open and switch over to the New Holland again, and we're going to be looking at the index path. So we're going to select that, Control C to copy, and then back to the index here, and you want to paste it. That will allow the saddle tanks to actually attach to the tractor at this point we created. So now that should be everything we have to do to get this ready. So we're going to save this, and we should be able to close out of it now, and save this and close out. So now we're going to copy all of the contents of this folder back into the New Holland zip. Now you don't actually have to do the same for the Demco, so I'm just going to delete that, and I'll delete this again as well since we already have that copied. So I'm going to go back to my desktop view here, New Holland, and select the Demco saddle tanks. And they are now in my mods folder. So we're going to head over back to Farming Simulator and get rolling there. So I'll be right back. Stay tuned. We are back in FS here, and I'm going to head over to our tractor and get that all fired up, and we're going to see if this actually worked. And I am 99% sure that it did. Of course, there are times when some things can go wrong, but I did everything right this time. I am sure of it. So you're going to want to pull through the middle here and get it lined up so those so that this point here is lined up with the center of the wheels. And this icon should appear right here, as it did. And voila, there we go. So we're going to take a look around here. It looks fairly well lined up to me. It looks like I'm running into a collision here, but no big deal. Yes, that is actually pretty nice. I think I did an excellent job there. Alright, I'll give myself a pat on the back for that. Seems like it might be kind of hard to get in the tractor now, but I'll manage. So now we can go ahead, and I'm going to buy a sprayer. And we're going to fill both of these up and just do a little spray job. Heck, with this thing we could add the front attacher tank, the Amazon attacher tank. So right now we do have the sprayer selected, so I'm going to hit G, and now we have the Demco selected. Fortunately, it does not actually show up with an icon down here, but it is selected. And switch back, we have the sprayer selected, and back again we have the Demco tank selected. I'm just going to go ahead and unfold this. I want to test something out while we're here. Alrighty. So we'll fill these up just a little bit. I don't have to go all the way. That's fine. I just want to see if this will spray without filling the actual fertilizer tank. And it will. Isn't that just beautiful? Yes, the actual sprayer tank has nothing in it. It's actually the Demco tanks that have stuff in it. So we'll take that off. Whoa, nope, wrong thing. We'll take that off, and you will just see we are still full there. But we can't spray anything, obviously. So obviously you can fill both, but maybe for whatever reason you just want to use the Demco tanks and nothing else, that is fine as well. But anyways, that is the end of this farming simulator tutorial. Thank you guys for watching. As always, it is much appreciated. If there's anything you want to say, just leave that in the comments, and I will try to respond as quickly as possible. If you have any issues with getting these attached, just shoot a comment. I will try to help as best as I can, but sometimes issues pop up and sometimes I don't know how to fix them, but I will try my best. Uploads are every Friday, Saturday, Sunday at noon Central Standard Time. So once again, everybody, thanks for watching and have a great day. We'll see you next time.